Yeah, this was, a battle. Butler's been battling everybody all year. I know we just came off the Michigan State. We had really put a lot of energy into that game. Like I said, we were a 1-point ball game after the third, and I think the emotional part of that game was tough on us in a little bit. To come back and bounce back, it concerned me how these guys were going to react and come back after a 2-day prep for Butler. I think we were not shooting the ball as well early. Got a little tight and kept getting tighter and tighter. And I think that we started relying more, hey, we got to get some stops. Shots may not go all the time, and we've been really stressing that. And no doubt the two next to me had a huge impact on this game. But I'm going to just say, D, those threes when just was what we needed to kind of punch, get our emotions back, and kind of seal the deal. And obviously Adalia with her drives and all that she does. But those are two good performances today.
Okay, next we'll open it up to questions for the student athletes. Do we have a mic in there? Okay, we do. Perfect. Rob, why don't we start with you?
Adalia, were you just feeling it today? Was it different at all?
I wouldn't say different. I just stayed locked in and wanted to win. So, I just did what I could win.
Yeah, going off of that, in the past couple of games, I've seen that spark from you. I know you start, but then you come off the bench and you have that spark and you get that drives down the court. Were your performances sort of leading up to today?
Yeah, and my coaches pushed me and my teammates pushed me to keep that energy on the court. So every game I just try to go in and basically bring that spark.
Yeah, and then Demilah, like Coach said, those back-to-back threes really helped the energy. For yourself, how did that feel hitting those?
It just felt good to get my shot back because, that's what I do. And now that I finally got some going through the rim, my confidence was up, and it was no-brainer after that.
Yeah, and then first half, obviously, Coach, you just said shooting wasn't that great. And then come second half, sort of a turnaround. So how do you fix that in the halftime talk?
I think we all just kind of settled down, and we're like, okay, guys, let's be patient on the shots. Let's swing it a couple times until we can get it back to a good shooter. And then once we hit one, everybody's going to fall in line. So.
Mm-hmm. And then, again, Coach, I'm going to reference you a lot right now. That loss against Michigan State, just the turnaround in 2 days, how did you sort of turn things around for today?
We just got into practice and everybody locked in, and we were like, hey guys, we almost had that one, so we can't let something like that slip through our fingers again. And so we just all came and pushed each other, and we were all like, come on guys, we can't have another loss like that. And we all wanted to win and compete today.
Mm-hmm. And then for both of you guys, how important is it to stay consistent throughout 4 quarters instead of just those 2?
Coach Fahey always say play for all 40 minutes. So it's very important, and it's key to win a game. So every practice, we focus on going hard the whole practice. And today we came in focused on working all 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then
Back up to Rob here up front.
For Demilah, you're probably not the first shooter on the scouting report. And so when you see, if a defense is going to concentrate on Jada or Aaliyah, it'll give you more opportunities. Do you see that happening on the court?
Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't, but I know they're going to focus in on Aaliyah all the time. So I'm like, hey, if we keep kicking it one more, I'm going to be open. And I know I can knock down those shots, so it's just a matter of when.
Any other questions for the student athletes today? Okay, thank you. Adalia, Demilah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
And we'll open it up for questions for Coach Fahey whenever you guys are ready. Looks like we're going to start with Angel here.
what's the issue with Jayla? Again, we saw her sort of crash the bench in the second quarter and then come back.
Yeah, she's fine. I mean, she just said sometimes, has a situation where she gets a little out of breath, and we've just got to make sure we get her out at that time. And we're on it. So.
Mm-hmm. And then, like the two just mentioned, we didn't see a lot of Jada Peoples or Leah Nye, but you still have backup shooters. How important is that for you to have that depth in the shooting?
Yeah, they're very capable, Jada and Aaliyah, but we just needed a change, and it wasn't necessarily anything that they weren't doing, but obviously Adalia takes the ball to the basket really aggressively. Dee comes in she's got a very shooting mindset. The thought that she's kind of like a secret weapon right now. She can knock the shot down. She's just been trying to find her shot and her rhythm, and it's great if that's starting to happen right now because those were big, big shots that we've seen in practice a lot. So that's why you have depth. That's why you practice and you watch how kids practice throughout the week. That's why Lyric Robbins got in. I know it may have been short minutes, but the point is she practiced really hard. Erica Porter practiced really hard this week. You got to reward kids by what they do, because if it gets too settled, it's just their human nature. So these guys are ready, and we compete in practice. And if it's not quite your day, then someone else step up.
Yeah, and then what did you see in the first half that you didn't like?
Our rotations, they started running their zone offense, and then we in our 5D that we were playing, we got a little confused, and then they weren't really contesting shots. That's why when we came out in the second half, in the third quarter, I decided we're going to play man. Okay, we're not going to let anybody get away. Start defending the ball screen. Sometimes when you're in a matchup, people think that you don't have to defend the ball, and we weren't defending just the drive on the ball. Okay, made another couple of adjustments, and I think that, and we started getting live ball turnovers, so we could go down and get our transition going.
Mm-hmm. And then I have a note in the second quarter that says can't understand when to pass or shoot. Is that what you sort of mean of like you couldn't decide? Or let me ask that. Let me re-say that. There was a moment in the second quarter that the team couldn't differentiate when they should shoot or when they could pass, because there were times where they had the open shot and then decided to make that extra pass.
Yeah, Dal came out and had two quick turnovers over passing. They like each other. They like to overpass, but we have made a big point of make decisions with the ball. We can't average 20. We know that. That's what, and so it's a balance. It's a balance of, is that extra pass, cool? Hey, we got, and I said, stop making cool passes, start making, hey, this is a good pass. Because sometimes we get excited in those open courts. Like they thread the needle on Kendall Bostic in that transition. It was a thread. I mean, that was a great pass. That's where you go, yeah, it's a great decision. We're just still trying to make sure when those decisions are. And Adalia as a freshman, made a couple early ones, but she's not the only one. That's why we got to cut that down. It's key.
Yeah, and then the win, you have the next game in 1 week, so how sort of crucial it is for that mentality and momentum for your team to push through the next week.
We want to put a couple wins together. It's been a challenging schedule. We've upped it, but we want to get that momentum. It's something we're talking about going into the holidays to make sure we have some momentum, because right after the holiday it's Maryland, and so we understand that. That's why I think that the games we played this week were key to us.
And up front to Rob here. Thanks.
My only question about your bigs, they're your featured scorers right now. Do you need more from what you're getting on the interior?
You want it inside out. I mean, there's no doubt. You're right. I felt tonight their 6'5" and our 6'5", it was a rumble down there. An ideal situation, 100%, we've got to go inside out more. I think that's what we did the last game. This one we got neutralized. There was, yeah, you're right. We need to go inside out more.